Hello, my name is Savannah Phelan and I use she, her pronouns. So for the lectionary for today, we are going to be reading from Psalm 89. And the lectionary actually just has us read a couple of the verses, but I'm going to read the psalm in its entirety, just because I think that it gives a little more power to the words and helps to explain the context of it a little bit better. But before I begin, I want to say a little bit about the structure of these verses. This particular psalm is considered a teaching psalm, and it was written by Ethan the Ezraite. The structure of it splits into three fairly distinct sections. In the first section, we'll hear verses of praise for God. The psalmist is praising and rejoicing in the steadfast love and fidelity of God with complete and utter confidence. In the second section of the psalm, we'll move into a reminder of the Davidic covenant. We'll hear the story of David once again, and we are reminded of the promise God made to care for David and his descendants and to crown them as rulers of God's people. And finally, we'll read the third section, which is filled with lament. In contradiction to all that God promised, the final verses of this psalm are filled with anguish. They are startlingly different from where it began. And it is the fact that these two powerful emotions are held together in one psalm that strikes me the most about today's lectionary. So as I read, I encourage you to listen for these three distinct sections and to think about how they tie together. Forever I will sing the wonders of your love, Yahweh, proclaiming your faithfulness to all generations. I'll tell them that your love stands firm forever. Your fidelity is fixed in the heavens. I have made a covenant with my chosen, sworn an oath to David, my faithful one. I will establish your line forever and make your throne firm throughout all generations. The heavens praise your wonders, Yahweh, and the council of the holy ones declares your fidelity. Who in the skies can be compared to Yahweh? Who is like Yahweh among the gods? A God who is revered in the council of the holy ones, great and awesome above all others. Yahweh Sabaoth, who is like you? Power and faithfulness surround you. You rule the surging sea, calming the turmoil of its waves. You crush the monster Rahab with a mortal blow and scatter your enemies with your strong arm. The heavens are yours, and so is the earth. You establish the world and all it contains. You created north and south. Mounts Tabor and Hermon echo your name. Your arm is powerful, your hand is strong, your right hand is lifted high. Your throne is built on righteousness and justice. Love and fidelity stand in your presence. Happy are those who have learned to praise you, Yahweh, who walk in the light of your presence. They will rejoice in your name all day long, uplifted by your justice. You are the strength in which they glory. Through your favor, we hold our heads high. Yahweh is our shield. The Holy One of Israel is our ruler. One day a vision came, and you announced this to your faithful ones. I have bestowed power on a warrior and raised up a youth from among the people. I have discovered David, who is faithful to me. David, I anoint you with my holy oil. My hand will be ready to help you, and my arm to give you strength. No enemy will oppress you. No rebel will bring you low. I will scatter your foes before you and strike down those who hate you. My fidelity and love will be with you, and through my name your strength will increase. I will extend your rule to the sea and your dominion as far as the Euphrates. You will say to me, you are my Abba, my God, my rock and my deliverance. And I will appoint you my firstborn, higher than all of earth's rulers. I will maintain my love for you forever, and my covenant with you will never fail. I will establish your line forever, and your throne as long as the heavens endure. If your descendants forsake my law and do not live by my rules, if they renounce my teachings and do not observe my commands, I will punish their disobedience with the rod and their iniquity with lashes. But I will never deprive them of my steadfast love. I'll never betray my faithfulness, and I will not violate my covenant or change what my lips have promised. I have sworn by my holiness once and for all, I will not break my word. Your line will continue forever. Your throne will stand before me like the sun. I will be established forever, as faithful as the moon's witness in the skies. Yet you have rejected and spurred and raged against your anointed. You have repudiated the covenant with your faithful ones, defiled the crown and flung it on the ground. You have breached my walls and left my fortress in ruin. All who pass by plunder me, and I have become the laughingstock of my neighbors. You have increased the power of my enemies and made my adversaries rejoice. You have blunted my sword and refused to help me in battle. You have put an end to the glorious reign and hurled my throne to the ground. You have cut short the days of my youth and covered me with shame. How long, Yahweh, will you hide yourself from sight? Will your wrath blaze like fire forever? Remember how fleeting life is. Have you created humankind in vain? Who can live and not see death or save themselves from the power of Sheol? Where is your steadfast love of old, Yahweh, those faithful promises you swore to David? Remember the abuse hurled at your faithful one, Yahweh, how I have borne in my heart the taunts of entire nations, how your enemies have vilified us, Yahweh, vilified your anointed at every step. That's where it is. I'd be curious to see what stood out to each of you as you listen to this. There are a lot of directions the psalm could take you, but for me, I found the contradictory elements of trusting in God's steadfast love and feeling the grief over a destructive world to be incredibly relatable. While I might not exactly relate to the specific experiences outlined in the psalm, the feeling of abandonment is one that I have contemplated long and hard on my journey of faith. I spoke of it a few weeks ago in my devotion on the book of Job. When I've experienced or witnessed pain, it has been difficult for me to reconcile that with the steadfast love of God. How can both exist at once? When the systems of our world have become so fundamentally flawed, how can I believe that God's promises of justice and prosperity will ever come true? It's easier, often, to feel hopeless than hopeful. But that isn't really what this verse does. It doesn't give up hope. It laments, but it does not reject its confidence in God's faithfulness and steadfast love. The verses call out in pain and anger and doubt, but they do so right alongside countless verses of praise. And as I read it, I thought to myself, what an accurate depiction of faith. For me, at least, my faith is equal parts lament and hope. I would not be a follower of Christianity if I was not both equally grieving the pain in the world and also confident that the steadfast love of God promises something more. They're not always easy emotions to hold at the same time, but I think that it is important that we do so. And today I am grateful for the psalm that reminded me to honor them both. Amen.